Areas in Calhoun and Talladega counties have dealt with PCB contamination from a chemical plant in Anniston for decades. The Environmental Protection Agency's remedial process began in 2004. ABC 3340's Erin Wise explains the EPA is looking for public input on a significant phase of the process, which includes 37 miles of Choccolocco Creek.
This is the final part of the remedy where we're going to take pretty extreme actions in order to address the contamination.
The Environmental Protection Agency is asking for public input on a remedial project to rid Choccolocco Creek of polychlorinated biphenyls, also known as PCBs. PCBs are a group of resistant chemicals. Remediation project manager Pam Scully says PCBs accumulate over time and impact the health and survivability of organisms.
They attach to soil particles and they exist for a long time. It's not easy to break down PCBs. They were produced from 1929 to 1971 in Anniston, and they were used primarily in electrical equipment.
Much of the contamination in Calhoun County and Talladega County comes from the former Monsanto PCB manufacturing plant on Clydesdale Avenue. The site is currently Solutia Incorporated. The company is funding the cleanup. The EPA estimates this phase will cost more than $85 million to complete. The proposal calls for removing soil from the creek's floodplains and contaminated sediment from the creek itself, as well as stabilizing the banks of the creek, which holds PCBs. There's a no consumption of fish advisory for Choccolocco Creek.
It's difficult to restore fish to a level that people can consume it without fear that they're going to impact their health. And that goes for not just people, but for the animals that consume fish. We start by cleaning up sediment and hope that that sediment and soil cleanup will lead to the surface water cleaning up and then the fish.
The construction could take 3 to 5 years, and it may be 20 years before the creek system recovers. An open house will be held at the Anniston Meeting Center from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. tomorrow. Scully encouraged anyone who had property along Choccolocco Creek to come to that meeting in order to understand how this project could impact them. In Oxford, Erin Wise, ABC 3340 News.
And there will also be a public meeting and open house in July. The public comment period remains open until July 31st.